What is the best way to hit a baseball? Or a better way of phrasing that is, what's most important with how you hit a baseball? Is it the fact that you pull the ball, that you hit it in the air, or just that you hit it really, really hard? Thanks to Batted Ball Data, we got the answers for you today, and we're gonna have a little extra bonus at the end of this for you. This is Smarter Baseball, where we deep dive into everything going on throughout Major League Baseball. And when there's not a whole lot to talk about in Major League Baseball, I find random baseball bullshit like this to talk about. So make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any kind of baseball information that can help make you a better player, a smarter fan, anything like that, hopefully, so I'm not just screaming into the void about baseball stuff. We're gonna be talking today about what's most important with how you hit the ball based on Batted Ball Data, and we can thank Fangraphs Splits Leaderboard for this. This is an awesome little tool that you can find on their page, where it basically lets you see how players do in any given situation, how they do in certain weather conditions, all those random baseball facts that you see during games. And for our video today, how hitters end up doing based on the different parts of Batted Ball Data. Now, Batted Ball Data can basically be broken down into three separate parts. We have the direction that the ball gets hit, whether that's having it get pulled to the same side as the batter, back up the middle, or hit to the opposite field. The second part is we have how hard the ball ends up getting hit. And the third is basically the type of batted ball we get, pretty much based on the launch angle. Is it a ground ball, a fly ball, or a line drive? So we're starting out first here today, talking about the different directions that the ball can go. Basically, you divide the field up into three equal parts. You have the pull side, same side as the hitter, center back up the middle, and opposite field, opposite side of the hitter. Now, general wisdom in baseball kind of says that pulling the ball is the best because that's when you tend to hit the ball the hardest, and when you hit the ball hard, good things happen. And from what we can see here, that's generally the case because across Major League Baseball, when you pull the ball, that's where you get your power numbers from. The 624 slugging is 163 higher than the next zone in the directional batted ball data here. And the 672 home run percentage, 6.72, is over double that of the next one. So kids, pull the ball so that you can get your power numbers up and you can get all the chicks, because chicks digs the long ball. Now, there's not a huge difference though in batting average between the three of these as we look at them. All roughly between about, 335 to 315. Now, granted, this could totally change with the shift going away next year. You generally shifted towards the pull side. I talked a whole lot about this in a previous video. I'll put it down in the description if you want to check that out after this. But after pulling the ball, what's more important? We hear differing things on, should you hit the ball back up the middle? Should you let it get deep, hit it back the other way? And basically, they're kind of exactly the same. The batting average, slugging percentage, OPS, and WRC plus are all within 4 points max of each other. So there's really not a whole lot of difference between hitting the ball back up the middle or hitting it to the opposite field. The difference comes from generally up the middle, you're still gonna get more of your home runs and less extra base hits because it's harder to get those doubles to land in between the gaps, in between those outfielders. But when you're still hitting it closer to the pull side, you can still get a few home runs here, versus when you're hitting the ball to the opposite field, that's generally when you hit the ball the weakest. So the home run numbers are down, but now you have that line down the opposite field to where you can get a couple of these doubles, maybe a triple or something to start landing in. And that's why you see the opposite field has the little bit higher extra base hit percentage. So pulling the ball is definitely the best of the three of these, but it's not going to be nearly as important as some of these other things we're going to talk about right now. And the first one is getting now to the second part of this, how hard you hit the ball. Now, generally, hitting the ball softly is the absolute worst thing you can do. You have a 9 WRC plus across baseball on soft contact. And that's basically because we all know that nothing good happens soft. When we talk about medium hit balls, though, this is where we see the batting average at 272 starts to be pretty good here. But we still have little to no power. The extra base hits are under 5%, and we're pretty much not hitting home runs with a medium hit hard ball unless we're in like Coors or something. So thanks for at least giving us something other than shitty beer, Coors. Hard hit balls, though, is where it's at. Your batting average goes almost up to 500. Your slugging goes up over 1,000. And you have the highest extra base hit percentage and home run percentage of any of these batted ball factors that we're going to talk about here. But we still have one more category to cover. So we're going to go ahead and talk about our different types of batted balls by launch angles. That's ground balls, fly balls, and line drives. Ground balls, you have a slightly higher batting average than on fly balls. I honestly thought this was going to be more, so that's a little surprising. But you have basically no power here. You might get some extra base hits from those hard hit ground balls down the line, but nobody's ever hit a home run on a ground ball because it has to go over the fence and you're hitting the ball down. So this, as far as these three, is the worst thing that you can do out of these. When we talk about fly balls, 96%, if I'm doing my math right, of home runs come from your fly balls. And kind of in contrast though, despite getting all of these home runs from your fly balls, there's really not a whole lot of difference though in the extra base hit percentage between fly balls and line drives. So fly balls are basically like those one-shot move, like Pokemon attacks that if it hits, it does a whole lot of damage, but it's probably not gonna hit very often. So this finally brings us to line drives, and yes, this is hands down, bar none, the best thing that you can do according to this batted ball data is to hit line drives, even more than just hitting the ball hard. On line drives, your batting average is 200 points higher than just hitting the ball extremely hard. The OPS is up by about 50 points. WRC plus is up by about 30 points. So you're about a 30% better hitter hitting line drives all over the field than just hitting the ever-loving hell out of the baseball. Now, you're still not gonna hit hardly any home runs unless you're like Giancarlo Stanton hitting the ball at 157 miles an hour, 20 feet off the ground, and get it out of Yankee Stadium. Those are about the only home runs you're gonna get on line drives. But if fly balls are those one-shot Pokemon attacks, line drives are basically that move in a fighting game that once you get caught in it once, your friend's just gonna keep spamming it because there's nothing you can do about it. Now, I promised a bonus here. We talked about all of the batted ball stuff, but I wanna talk about why it's so important to work the count, because we can see the difference here as well in why working the count matters so much and how that affects how well a batter ends up hitting the ball. First, we have the difference just between literally the first pitch of an at-bat, whether you go 0-1 or 1-0. Because a batter going 1-0 instead of 0-1, he now has a batting average higher 41 points. The slugging percentage is 93 points higher. The strikeout percentage drops about 12%, walk rate up about 10%. Your OPS is 204 points higher, and your WRC plus basically doubles because you go from about a 30% worse hitter to about a 30% better hitter. This is why it's so valuable for pitchers to get the first strike and for batters to lay off something that you can't absolutely destroy on that first pitch. Make that umpire have to call it a strike. If you get that ball, you're in such a better spot here, because then again, as pitchers continue to work more and more ahead. If you get into a 1-2 or an 0-2 count, the batter has a combined 169, nice, average, a 259 slugging, a 44% chance of striking out, which is over double the MLB average in 2022, a 470 OPS, and a 31 WRC plus. So you're about a 70% worse hitter than you normally are when you get into a 1-2 or an 0-2 count. So pitchers, work ahead early. Get guys behind in these holes or make them have to hit the ball early against you. On the flip side, when batters can get way ahead in a 2-0, 3-1, and 3-0 count, they have a combined 273 average, 470 slugging, a 982 OPS, and a 188 WRC plus. You basically turn into an MVP when you get this far ahead in a count. So this is why I preach so much that approach is important. Lay off of stuff that you can't do a whole lot of damage on, because when you get so far ahead in a count like this, the pitcher has to throw a strike or he's gonna walk you. So guess where that pitch is gonna be? Right over the plate, because he doesn't want to miss again. And for every coach that's ever told you not to swing at a 3-0 pitch, come here. We're gonna talk about this real quick, because a 3-0 count is the only count that across baseball last year, hitters had a 300 average, a 500 slugging or higher on both of those. They had the highest OPS and the highest WRC plus. So the next time, kids, that your coach tells you to take a 3-0 pitch, tell him, I'm a smart baseball player. I know the numbers. I'm gonna go take my daddy hack or my 60% chance of getting walked, and you can shove it, coach. Comment your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think about all of this. Thank you for joining me. To show your support, go ahead, click the subscribe button right here so you don't miss out on any other baseball information like this that can help you out in the future. Also, go ahead, check out some of my other videos. This is the one YouTube recommends for you. This is my most recent upload. I'll see you in the next one.